Hello everyone, it's me again. Playing a lot of Darktide recently. The new update came out and they fixed so much. I mean, they're working on the game hard now. I was a little bit disappointed with Fat Shark at first, but they put their time in. They're showing us that they care about the game and that, in my opinion, it's got a good future, right? I noticed a lot of new players coming in, so welcome. I do want to give a little bit of assistance or offer a little bit of advice to anyone that wants to watch and listen. These are two of my favorite builds right now to play with Veteran. I don't even use the old talent anymore, like the one that highlights everybody, just because the other two are so useful in battle, in fights, that it's hard not to use them. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you the weapons I use, some of the strategies that I use with it, and kind of explain the talents behind it, and show you a little combat with it too. So as you can see, my weapons are at 530, around there. I don't know if they get higher than that. That's just how far I've gotten with them. So with the power sword is just my favorite weapon for Vet. I do like the chain sword. The chain axe is good for some builds, including the stealth build that I'll talk about next. But for right now, I have brutal momentum and wrath. The cleave is fantastic. It'll get you out of certain situations, like you'll see. And then, of course, the plus 15% weak spot damage, which also ignore enemy hit mass. The light attack is 121 with that 182 of a heavy attack. It's really more of a survivability weapon. It's got a lot of CC, a lot of cleave to it, so hordes are no problem. Now with the plasma gun, I mean, look at the damage, right? 593 and 1640, and when this gun first came out, I was like, wow, this is really slow. It sucks to use. I hate it, right? But my attitude has changed over time, and I really honestly like this gun. Especially, I'll show you guys the speed cancel, or the sprint cancel that I found out. And then, of course, my blessings on this. Volatile, 4% charge speed on low overheat, stacks up to 5 times. I like it. You need to get off a strong shot, when you're just kind of standing there. Power it up quickly. And then, of course, shattering impact. Target receives 4 stacks of 5% brittleness on direct projectile hit. I believe brittleness just weakens armor. So you go up against, like we were saying, like a crusher. 3 shots, they should be out. And then, of course, for my perks, 25% damage to carapace armored enemies and 25% damage to flak armored enemies. And that's just because, I mean, with this build, and especially as Veteran, you really want to be able to focus on taking down specials, right? Big armored guys, sometimes the gunners in the back. Because in reality, I mean, it kind of seems like most people are able to hold off the horde, and even if you can't hold off the, even if they can't hold off the horde, you have the power sword to go ahead and kind of cut through anyone that gets too close. So with the talent tree, I kind of went down the middle and branched off to the left. I like to mix and match the talents, kind of like WoW. So of course I got the long shot and the volleyata, which goes really well with this build. You'll do more damage from a distance and get that reload speed on special kills, which you should be getting pretty often. You could go this side. It's just less practical, in my opinion. And, of course, we come down to the crack grenade. Everyone loves a little crack, And I did go with Fire Team just because these two don't make much sense to me. Fire Team just gives flat damage to everybody near you, so why not? Which brings me down to our main combat ability, right? So that brings us down to our main combat ability, which is Voice of Command. I did get also the field improvisation one and the grenade replenishment, just because that's going to help with taking away curse and your ability to kill specials quickly, or monsters even. The crack grenade just does a ton of damage to monsters if you hit them right. And with Voice of Command, of course, I got the Only in Death Does Duty End, which is a game changer for damnation levels. There's so many times when someone goes down, you just can't get to them. Being able to slide in, scream, and have them back up, it's a game changer in my opinion. And then I went down the middle here a little bit, did more damage to monsters and ogrins, elite enemies. And so for our last little stretch of tree, I did go down the left side here just because I don't really like Deadshot. I like having my stamina, especially when a Poxburster comes up and, gets you. Plus, I don't really look down. I mean, the alternate fire is, the plasma gun's charge up. So it really doesn't make sense to even use it. There's not much sway. That plasma gun's really accurate, so you're not going to need that. And the exhilarating takedown, you do get toughness regen for that and toughness damage reduction. which is fantastic. You know, you kill a few specials a little ways away, and say the horde comes up, you have better survivability, better defense, 30% weak spot damage, suppression immunity, and 25% ammo, because it doesn't, the plasma gun doesn't chew through ammo as much as some of the other weapons, but it does, at the end of the day, eat up a lot of ammo, especially when it's like a high-intensity shock trooper gauntlet type of thing. And marksman, I mean, it is good when you get in and you get, so it is good to have this when you're able to slide in, revive somebody, and then, if there's a horde around them or specials, you can kind of clear that out pretty quickly. So that's the first build. I really like it. As you could see with the videos, there's, a lot of utility that comes with it. And then, of course, the Curios, in my opinion, they're a personalized basis, right? I mean, some people, maybe you're good at blocking. Maybe you don't need toughness. Some people, maybe they don't need wounds as much, right? I do. I like to have a little bit of health and defense, just because sometimes I'm big brain, or, you will find yourselves suppressed quite often, right, from a distance. Gunners have no problem just wearing you down. So I like to build wounds, and then, of course, the damage resistance, corruption resistance. I do have toughness, regeneration, speed. This one I could probably change a bit, 8% revive speed for ally, but I'm guessing that it does stick, or count towards your ult, so maybe they get up faster. I don't know. That's actually a good test to run. So this is the second build, and I just want to say beforehand that honestly, you could swap out any weapon you would like with any of these builds, right? This is just what's been working for me. So as you can see with this one, still sticking with the power sword. This one you could probably swap out with something like the chain axe, high single target damage, and maybe go something different for your weapon. See, when I first started veteran, I was in love with the laser guns, and true, some of the laser guns still hold up well right now, but I don't really like them, right? Even with the talent that gives you, makes it so that you use no ammo on crits, I just don't like them. I was using the Hellbore laser gun for a long time, which I swore by, and then I was like, you know what, this kind of sucks. So I started exploring options, and honestly, the stub revolver is what I stuck with for a long time. It's just so practical. It's so light, so fast, easy to reload, especially with the right perks and talents. Of course, my blessings are a little bit low. One of them is only level 3, but it's just an all-around great weapon to have. And let me explain why it works well with this talent tree. So the talents that I'm using with the revolver, which again you can switch out for really anything, even the shotgun works well. The plasma gun can probably work well for this. I just like to change it up a little bit, spice it up, and the revolver has always treated me well. It works well, and we'll do some damage comparison after. So I went on the left side, right. At the end of this tree, you do get the one where you get the close quarters kill zone, so it kind of has some assistance in both close and long range. I went with the smoke grenade just because it's a concealment build. You could absolutely swap that out for the crack grenade and just do that. There is literally no downside to it. I just went smoke grenade because it's nice when you see a cluster of gunners on the stairs or something. Throw the smoke at them. They gotta run towards you or run away from you. They essentially break LOS, right? And then naturally went fire team again. That is just a must in my opinion. Just the flat damage coherency buff, you can't beat it. So then we get down into the shining star of the build, the Infiltrate combat ability, right? So this leave no one behind, 20% assist speed and revive speed, plus 20% movement when moving towards a knockdown ally. It just goes along with this, right? Infiltrate is fantastic utility. You can use it to revive people, get and revive people. Use it to do like the little Auspex scanner or the whatever it is, like fixing the servo skull, right? You can use it to complete mission objectives. Pick up the barrel while you're stealthed. The ones that I went with, I did not go with the +1 charge for 33% cooldown. That's just way too much cooldown to be able to use it. Like, this thing is off cooldown pretty often, so it's no big deal. 45 seconds, whatever. The surprise attack I did get, because you get 30% damage for leaving stealth. which is fantastic compared with this one, minus 90% threat for 10 seconds on leaving stealth. So, you know, you go in, you revive someone, stand up, and no one's attacking you, and you have massive damage buff. Go ahead and start swinging. I also went down this path right here just to get some more, you know, monster kills. Help the team out with clearing out elites and specials and ogrins or whatever. And this you can, of course, mix and match it however you'd like. I just decided to go this path here, right? It really does help when you, like I said, when you go in and revive somebody or you're doing a combat objective by yourself, you throw it on your smoke grenade. A couple stragglers will probably come in. You'll be able to, you know, just keep swinging at them, get that brittleness on them, get them down quickly, and then 5% to all base damage 5 seconds after sprinting. I'm constantly sprinting with this build, so this is fine. Melee attack speed, and you get the close damage for 10 seconds on combat ability use. This build, especially with the revolver, you're gonna be up close and personal with most of the enemies, so that's why I lean more in towards the let's get up close and personal and do more damage while we're in there, but also paired it with some of the range, you know, some range attacks, because the revolver, in my opinion, the iron sight on it is the best in the game. It's so accurate. I could do with one more bullet in the chamber, you know, being allowed, but it is what it is. So as I was saying, there are a couple of tricks that I like with the plasma gun. Now, before I get into the tricks, one big benefit of the plasma gun is you might think that it's not really a horde clearing weapon, right? Wrong. Yeah, no, that's wrong. Look. So I start back here, right? This guy, there's 3 guys in front of him, if they line up correctly, and those guys in the back. Watch the what is it called? The watch the power on this thing. See, I mean, it goes, right? It goes far. It clears out lines of people. So another fantastic trick is the light shot on the plasma gun won't actually make the gun explode. It'll do a little toughness damage, but you flick a little switch. See? So in reality, I mean, if you're getting toughness back, if you're in coherency with your team, you do have a lot of ability, you know, a lot of leeway until you start taking health damage. In my opinion, it makes for a great weapon. Of course, you know, when you charge it up to 100, normally it'll explode, right? That's an instant kill. But just this little trick, I love it. I use it all the time. Ignore toughness, whatever. The other trick that I wanted to tell you about that I saw someone talking about was a animation reload, sprint cancel on this gun. Makes reloading a little bit faster. Good for a pinch, right? So what you do is when you see a little blue smoke come out, sprint. When he screws that back in, sprint. And that goes down, sprint. Right? It's not going to save you much time, maybe a second or two. But in a pinch, you know, once you learn about it, and just for me at least, I couldn't stop using it. And now it's kind of like a bad habit. I want to get away from it. Please, sir, help! Okay, my little heretic hunters. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, even if you hated it and you want to scratch my eyes out over this build, just subscribe. Subscribe so you can come back and yell at me. But thank you again. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and take care.